Okay, I'm going to get off my soapbox.
Oh, no. Fabulous stuff. There goes, yeah.
Right.
You know, I'm just listening very intently. I listen not only with my ears, but energetically. So you're very passionate, and it resonates very strongly with many, many people out there.
Good.
I love this. Okay, so here's one. Let's start with a question here. And this is from Cliff in Kansas City, right here in my neck of the woods. Ooh. You mentioned NASA in the beginning. Two questions. What's the deal with Obama wanting to privatize NASA? Mm-hmm. And are there any connections with NASA and the Mason community?
Well, yeah, actually, Dark Mission, The Secret History of NASA, the first book I wrote with Richard Hoagland, is all about the Masonic influence inside of NASA. Basically, the whole organization was run by, the Freemasons, the Nazis, and a group that we called the Magicians, which were basically followers of Aleister Crowley's out here at JPL in Pasadena. So the whole NASA is a secret society. It's dominated by secret societies. It operates secretly. It operates in the occult. And honestly, I got to tell you, if you want to know that, you go get Dark Mission, because that's where we I tell you all about the Masonic influence inside of NASA. As to Obama wanting to privatize it, well, again, the question is, presidents say a lot of things that they don't really mean, and the question is not really whether he wants to do that or not. To me, the question is, what does he actually do? And I think what's happening, I think this is just all for show. I really don't believe NASA's going to get privatized. To me, there's far too many things out there that they've found that they really, at this point, can't afford to let people know are actually out there. For instance, the ruins of an ancient civilization on the moon and the ruins of an ancient civilization on Mars. So I really don't know that that's actually going to happen, but it's definitely something that we should keep an eye on.
Oh, I agree. And again, that's part of what people can do, certainly over the next couple of years here, is if they're in meditation or group meditations or what have you, as a collective consciousness, is to have intent on those things that don't work for us anymore.
Yeah, let's have some truth about what's
the real
out there.
truth, not what they think is the truth, but the real truth, what they think that we can handle. And it just keeps coming out. There's my soapbox. I'm gonna get off mine and get you another question here. Now this one is a personal question for you. Oh, a personal question. And before I ask it, I have to tell you, this is a topic that has been ongoing on my show with most all of my guests, by the way, Mike. Okay. And it has to do with time, the illusion of time, timeline jumping, convergence of timelines, et cetera, and so forth. And the feeling of during the course of your day is moving through maybe different time waves. At certain points, the day seems to drag on, and other points you look up and, maybe 8-10 hours according to the clock. I call it static now. Very interesting concept that I was shown with the whole clock thing. But you look up and you go, oh my gosh, it's time for dinner, and I really feel like I just woke up. What have I been doing all day? But you've been busy. So, we've been really having lots and lots of discussion. People are having many experiences with the change of the energy around time. So here's the question: are you feeling any changes in time?
Yes. Well, I think we all feel like time's accelerating. And interestingly, time, this is going to sound a little abstract, and it's easier to explain when you've got a slideshow, but basically, time is a physical forward spiraling movement. That's what time is. It's a torsion motion of spiraling from left to right, and the whole universe, I believe, follows that pattern, and I don't think that is necessarily consistent. And what's happening, I think, with all this energy coming into the solar system, you've got the planetary alignments creating the astrological effects, combined with the alignment with the center of the galaxy, combined with Nibiru, or Planet X out there, adding its energy to it. So what's happening is that the whole system is becoming more energized, and that's why, for instance, a lot of the planets seem to be warming up. It's got nothing to do with fossil fuels or burning, gasoline or pollution or any of that stuff. It's just that the whole system itself is becoming more energized. And the curious thing is, the planet seems to be getting warmer even while the sun itself is at kind of record lows in terms of its output. It's very, very quiet. So the answer is yeah, I feel that. I believe it's a real experience. It's not just a cultural phenomenon. It's definitely something that is, we're getting tuned up. We're getting ramped up. I have a couple of friends who are psychic mediums, and say what you will about that, but they've shown me enough that I'm convinced that they actually can do the things that they say that they do, and are actually connected. And one of them, a very well-known guy named Michael Curry, who's done read for a lot of famous people, says, sorry, my kitten is attacking some paper in the background. I don't know if it's very noisy, but
it doesn't matter. I have 3 4-legged creatures in here during the show,
right.
So we're all good.
All right.
Yeah.
It's really cute, but he says that there are more souls, more ghosts on the planet right now than he has ever seen in his entire life.
Yep.
He's been sensitive for 40 or 50 years. So what he's saying is that, everybody seems to be here now. The energy is ramping up everywhere, and I think it's because everybody wants to be here to see and watch what we decide. How's it going to come out? What are we going to do? What are we going to do with this opportunity? Are we going to make the same mistakes that the previous incarnations of man made, or are we going to, choose something better for ourselves and start to move forward?
Mm-hmm. So, well, let me tell you something. Me being one of those type of people as well, Mike, I can tell you is I've had many, many conversations with people, and you look out, and there's just it's not just a trend why all these ghost shows are out and they're getting hits all the time. Yeah. I know they come from Hollywood and they're reality, but the reality is that there are more presences on this earth. I mean, in all levels, whether you're talking about the physicality or the spirit level, and regardless of what type of a spirit, whether they be ghosts or higher entities that you're able to see briefly if you're high enough vibration yourself personally to be able to see other beings that aren't actually ghosts, but they're actually other beings, and they coexist with us.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. It's like I've never seen a UFO, and I don't think I ever will, because I just think there's something about me that I'm not tuned to that frequency. It was really funny. I was in the Bay Area UFO Expo last year, and somebody said, "Hey, Mike, go outside. There's a UFO. There's flying saucer out there." And I'm like, "It won't be there when I go out there." I walk out there, and they all said, "Oh, I just left." So I'm not tuned to that frequency, but what's happening is more and more people that are sensitive, you're right, are starting to have more experiences. They are going to experience more presence around them. There is going to be more spiritual energy coming to the planet. And I think, before this is all over, I think things are going to start to get pretty weird, to be honest with you.
Oh, my guides call it separating the wheat from the chaff, right? And,
right.
And really what that is and this is not a judgmental comment that I'm about to make here. It's just an explanation for visual effects, I guess, right? But you're going to see those that don't awaken, those that the energies are going to affect in a much different manner than those that are more conscious and more aware of the energies. Yeah. And they have at least trying to understand it and beyond, right? So you're going to see, literally, it's like separating the people. You're going to have this one and this one. There's going to be very few neutral beings, as it were, that's going to stand in the middle that's not going to be affected at all one way or the other.
Well, I would say there'd be none, because what I see in the astrology and the astronomy is polarization. And
that's
I think the way
is.
Richard Hoagland puts it is, the good is going to get much, much better, the bad is going to get much, much worse, and everybody's going to be polarized. And as we individually choose, which side we're on, our experience is going to be, we're going to move into that experience. We're going to move into the good or the bad, I guess, depending on.
Right. It's that we're not making judgments. It's just a clarification. We're going to either choose to stay unenlightened, or we're going to choose to be enlightened even more.
Do you want to tune to Channel 10, or are you just going to stay on Channel 9 and go through the crap that we've been going through?
All of the people that are talking about that. So we're all right on. We're all just saying it just a little different, but it all means the same thing. Very interesting.
Yep.
So now here's the next question for you. Does exposing New World Order stuff help or hurt, like 9/11? And I'm going to qualify this question here for you. I know that this is a little off it could appear to be a little off center from the conversation we're having, but I really believe that people are confused by all of the Illuminati stuff and the conspiracy theory stuff. And it's like, where do I draw the line of when does that become not as important, or is it important to know about it so I can move past it and beyond it? You see what I'm saying?
It's not important because it's all just fear-based stuff. There are people out there that want to try to keep the lid on things. You know, they know there's going to be a fire in the theater. They just don't know when it's going to start, and they're trying to build cages at the exits. But the problem is that they don't control the exits. The physics says that the things that the institutions try to do to maintain control they're going to invariably make the wrong decisions, because they're just, they're not of the light. They're the dark guys, and they're going to make bad decisions, and things are going to fall apart. It's kind of like what happened in the Soviet Union when it collapsed. That the old guard is going to try to pull all their old tricks, but it's just not going to work because people just aren't going to buy into it anymore. So
right.
What I would say is I want to stay away from that stuff. It's not me anymore. I really don't care. I don't think that they're going to be able to pull off anything significant. One of the worries that I know Dr. Werner von Braun had was that a fake alien invasion was going to come sometime in the future. And that's something that we have the technology to actually pull off. We've had flying saucer technology, and this is Richard's next book, I'm sure. We've had flying saucer technology, I think, since the 1950s. So
I agree.
You could pull it off, but that's something to watch out for. I just think, believe what your gut tells you. Believe what your intuition tells you, because what's accelerating right now is intuition. IQ scores are going up because people are guessing more accurately on the answers they don't know, because their intuition is getting stronger. So I would say stay away from it. Now, 9/11, I got to comment on this as a conspiracy theorist, okay? I don't believe in the 9/11 conspiracy theories. I am a conspiracy theorist, but I only believe in the ones that I can support. And as an aerospace engineer, I just got to tell you, the things that I have read about the justifications for saying that, 9/11 was an inside job, none of them hold up. They all just completely fall apart. They're just simply not correct, and they're put out there by people that I think are pretty ignorant of architecture and engineering. And so I got to just be honest, I don't buy that one. Now, I'm prepared to be convinced. I'm just not convinced based on what I've seen so far. I think a bunch of, the way South Park put it, is a bunch of PO'd Muslims flew airplanes into buildings. Now, there are certain people who may have tried to take advantage of that situation afterwards, but I don't, at this point, it looks to me like that's basically what happened.
Interesting.